オランダを追い詰めた日本代表、そしてチュニジア戦では圧巻の4ゴール。この戦いぶりに海外のレジェンドたちも黙っていません。ギャリー・ネビル、ロイ・キーン、ポステコグルー、さらにズラタンまでもが日本について研究。世界の目に今の日本代表はどう映っているのか。今回は海外の反応を見ていきます。
I'd be really disappointed if I was the Dutch going in front like they have done, and then obviously letting the Japanese come back in. Credit to the Japanese, but I thought, Ange summed them up perfectly before the game where he said they lacked belief, and they really did lack belief until they went a goal down, and then they came back and showed a little bit, but they'll be so disappointed, Holland.
These were the fans as well, so the reaction from the Japanese, they're such good value all game, especially this guy who actually we stayed on for about 10 minutes, and that celebration just continued on a loop. Look, they had a great time. Ultimately, for Japan, this must be a great result for them to get through this game.
Fantastic from Japan's point of view. Anne just mentioned there, obviously maybe lacked in belief, but towards the end it was the Dutch. You know, when they got themselves in that winning position, and then start making defensive changes, and then of course on the set piece. So Japan will be delighted with that. But all credit to them, as much as I felt Holland were always seemed to be in control of the game. But you stay in the game, you keep the fight. There's always just one goal in it. So we took our hats off to Japan. But it'll be the Dutch who'll be frustrated. Japan will be delighted with that draw.
On that set piece, sometimes, and I've been in defences where you've got a dominant centre-back or you've got a dominant goalkeeper, and when they go for it, everyone else stops just imagining, thinking they're going to deal with it. Van Dijk goes for it, and once he misses it, Van Hecker should be a lot closer to him. And
the keeper should do better.
It's a big mistake. The keeper should save it.
When the keeper gets a hand to it like that, the keeper's got to do better.
Do you agree with what Andrew was saying there about the Dutch's tactical change?
Yeah. I think when you're 2-1 up and you're obviously a very, very good team, it's not as if they're under huge pressure. So you worry there's sometimes your coach is trying to be too clever. But when you're 2-1 up, they had opportunities to go and finish the game off. And as we know, we've watched enough football over the years. When there's one goal in it, at this level, you're always in with a chance as much as the Dutch were in control. So not to finish the job off, they'll be kicking themselves.
Have a look at this as well. This is from the Japanese bench, and perhaps a little bit of timekeeping here. How clever are they here? Ange, have a look at what they're doing.
Their timekeeping is good, fantastic. I just wish they had something up there that says, you know what, just be a bit more brave and play a bit more to their capabilities. I get, Roy is right that they should be really happy with the 2-2, but I know the capabilities they have. They can win these games by playing with a little bit more courage.
Gary, ever when you were in the coaching teams or management, do you ever have the urge to write down exactly what minute just to guide the players exactly where they are in the game?
No, that wasn't a tactic that I deployed.
I'm sure there's a scoreboard, isn't there, or something else they can...
When I saw a 6 goal, that was the goals we conceded.
Exactly.
Probably was more impressed with the Dutch tonight in terms of their performance. Yeah, they've given a couple of daft goals. Certainly the set piece at the end. So I'd almost be, in the bigger picture, you're thinking the Dutch look decent. But again, you can't underestimate Japan. I also give them credit for hanging in there. But I think they'll both move on. And towards the end, it's tough games to come. But you have to take that, you have to be content. And I still think they'll be more of a threat in the latter stages than maybe Japan.
We're going to lean on a lot of your experience in this game as well, because not only have you played against Australia with your team, against Japan, with your team Australia, but you've also managed as well in the J-League. Tell me a little bit about your experiences playing against them and also in Japan.
Yeah, I know Japanese football really well, and a lot of the players we'll see tonight, the majority got their starts in the J-League where I was managing. And look, I've always rated Japanese football really highly. I think I kind of once made a statement, if ever a country outside of Europe and South America do actually win a World Cup, they'd be one of the ones I'd be looking at because of the progress they've made. All their players now play in Europe. We've seen in the lead-up their ability to get results, not just get results, but play well against good opposition, top-class opposition. I've always felt they just lack a little bit of what the Aussies showed last night, just that belief that they can actually be a dominant side, but I'm really looking forward to watching them play.
You're being quite modest as well, because you haven't mentioned the silverware you picked up when you were in Japan either.
No, well, I'm sitting next to guys who've got plenty of silverware, so I'll leave that. But it's just the experience of a different culture. I love my time there. You kind of, I believe, you grow as a person when you experience different cultures, and I did happen to have a little bit of success there, and a couple of players, Kubo and Deiza Maeda were part of that group that I managed back then, so it's great to see their progress.
And what is it on the belief side that you think they lack? Is that as a nation or just this particular team?
I think as a nation, I think they see themselves as a developing nation. They've had a real clear plan about what they want to do. They've got this famous 100-year vision for their football that they're following meticulously. And I always said, look, you know what, you're not at year 20, you're at year 60. But they're just, really methodical about that. And, like I said, I think once they crack that and they would get that real belief that they can knock off the best nations, and we've already seen it, I think, they're a chance to definitely get deep in this competition, but one day to actually win the World Cup.
日本代表について聞かれたズラタンは、少し間を置いて、こう語りました。
まず、言っておきたい。日本は簡単な相手ではない。チュニジアに4対0で勝った。それだけを見ている人間もいるだろう。だが、俺が見ているのはスコアではない。日本の怖さは全員が同じ方向を向いていることだ。前から奪いに行く。奪った瞬間に走り出す。一人が動けば周りの選手も同時に動く。あれは偶然ではできない。チームとしてかなり整理されているスウェーデンにとって危険なのは日本にリズムを与えることだ。日本は一度リズムをつかむとどんどん前に出てくる。相手が少しでも迷えばその隙を逃さない。パスをつなぐだけではない。走る、奪う、仕掛ける。そして最後まで止まらない。そういうチームは対戦相手にとって非常に面倒だ。オランダ戦でもそうだった。普通なら強豪相手にリードされれば少し下を向く。だが日本は下を向かなかった。もう一度走り、もう一度奪いに行き、最後までゴールを信じていた。これは強いチームの特徴だ。スウェーデンが日本を甘く見るなら、それは大きな間違いになる。体格で勝てる。名前で勝てる。ヨーロッパの国だから勝てる。そんな考えでピッチに入れば、日本に飲み込まれるだろう。今の日本は、ただのアジアのチームではない。世界の舞台でどう戦えば相手を苦しめられるかを知っている。特に最初の15分、ここは非常に重要だ。日本は立ち上がりから強度高く来るスウェーデンが受けに回れば、日本は必ず前に出てくる。そして、一度押し込まれれば抜け出すのは簡単ではない。スウェーデンが勝ちたいなら、日本以上に集中しなければならない。日本以上に走り、日本以上に戦い、日本以上に冷静でいる必要がある。今の日本はダークホースというより、もう世界に見つかっているチームだ。問題はどこまで行くかだけだ。スウェーデンにとってこの試合はただのグループリーグではない。自分たちが立て直せるのか、それとも日本の勢いに飲み込まれるのか、それが問われる試合になる。日本を止められるのか。答えはピッチの上で出る。ネビルやキーンが驚き、ポステコグルーが冷静に評価し、そしてズラタンが日本の可能性を語る。もはや日本代表はアジアの強豪ではなく、世界の大物たちが警戒する存在になっています。次のスウェーデン戦、この評価が本物だったと証明できるのか、日本代表の戦いに注目です。